Okay, a lovely classic life update. Everything that has been going on since, I think the last time I did this was back in June. I love doing these videos because it's like an invaluable way for me to kind of take stock and like look back a few months and remind myself of the growth or the panic that has happened since last. There's been a bit of both, like literal growth and literal panic since June. Dear me, let me tell ya. The first thing that happened in June was that Dave and I went to the Madrid Literary Festival as we were invited by my absolutely wonderful publisher Plata and finally got to meet my fabulous Spanish editor Leo in person. Honestly, this was one of the best trips ever. 35 degrees hot, 2 million people at the festival, walking around at night, having cervezas and meeting other authors and publishing people. Honestly, both David and I were completely enamored by the city. We had never been before. Just the kindest, most relaxed people and beautiful buildings, gorgeous language. And yes, since then, I have been spending a wee bit of time on Duolingo learning Spanish. Hola, yo soy Jenny Mustard, mucho gusto, that type of thing. A huge thank you to those of you who bought and read via Tiempos para Estar Viva. I'm pleased to announce that OK Days will also be out in Spanish soon, I think in February. Madrid was wonderful, but it was also wonderful to get back to London because since late April, with the publication of What a Time to Be Alive, and then my birthday in May, then David's birthday in May, then Madrid, it was very difficult to get any work done. And I was just like reeling to get back to book 3 and working on the notes that my agent Peter had given me. So you already know that throughout June and early July, I did it, like I finished it. I told you that in another video already. So by the time our like big annual Sweden summer trip rolled in, I sent the manuscript back to Peter for him to read through the changes that I made based on his notes, which were honestly very, very light. Like I didn't really have to do a lot at all with it, which is why I managed to send it back to him so shortly after getting his feedback. And that was it. Going to Sweden with the book finished, I felt like I could like leave for my holiday with like nothing pulling at me, like no work needing doing, no creative project picking up my consciousness. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been this relaxed already before going on holiday. I felt like good and like unusually chilled out in the weeks leading up to our trip. Such a strange feeling for me, since usually when going on holiday, you've been hustling your worst simply to get everything done before you set your emails out of office auto-reply. Not this year. I was well and truly unwound and peaceful when boarding that flight. Which meant that our 2.5 weeks in Sweden were the best so far. I didn't need to spend the first week winding down. I was already there, mentally vacationed. Walking out of that flight, touching Swedish ground, I was already chilled out. The first week we spent going around like just seeing people, but then we had 7 full days of no plans. Just reading in the hammock, petting the cat, eating the strawberries and drinking the cremant. Oh, and swimming. Listen to this. For once, Sweden had a real summer. So many days the temperature hit like 25 degrees and the water for once wasn't turning like our lips blue and our toes to tingle. We swam every day, just swam around. We took like long walks every day and did some simple like compound exercises like 3 days a week because we were trying to like stay healthy during this trip. Lots of salads, lots of smoked tofu, lots of fruits. And yes, some pizza and cake and cinnamon buns too, of course. I have to say though, the only spanner in the works this trip was that my stomach was just killed. It started around my birthday in early May, like proper stress stomach with extreme bloatedness and pain almost like no matter what I ate. So since early May, I've been on an elimination diet of oats, bananas, nothing fun. Almost no caffeine or spices or onion or garlic or acidic fruits or alcohol or gluten, like basically bananas and gluten-free oats, fun stuff. I did have a bit of this and that in Sweden because I was on holiday, but I would pay for it with just the worst bloatedness and pain. But I'm happy to report that since getting back home from Spain in mid-June, being able to work slower and not stress so much has helped. And the extraordinarily lazy Sweden trip really, really helped. So since getting back to London late July, my stomach has been so much better, like day and night. And I've managed somehow to keep the workload down and prioritize time off and sleep and, managing my cortisol levels with diet and exercise and again, more sleep. So I'm happy to report that I can now have caffeine in the morning, I can have onion and garlics again, I can have fruit and alcohol like once per week maybe, and a bit of spices without my stomach complaining too much. I'm not 100% there, but night and day difference. One thing that helped hugely was these digestive enzyme tablets that I take with meals. At first I took one with every meal to help me break down the food, but now I only take one in the morning with my morning protein soy yogurt berry breakfast, since I still find that protein powder sits quite heavily in my stomach. Anyway, Sweden this year, dreamy, magical. I want to do it again. A huge thank you to Fabrique for sponsoring today's video. You know I love working with brands that combine style, quality and thoughtful design, and Fabrique is exactly that. What makes them stand out is their designer collective. Many of them come from luxury fashion houses, bringing creativity and aesthetic sense, like Louis Vuitton, Hermès, Chanel, Dior, Zimmermann and Diesel. So their collections carry the same creative DNA, but at prices that are actually affordable. It's like slipping into something that feels runway inspired without needing a runway budget. First up is the Cottenham jacket in brown, designed by Sinha Stanek, former McQueen visionaries acclaimed with awards. The vegan suede feels soft and luxurious, yet the jacket is lightweight and easy to layer. And bonus point, David looks great in it too, which makes it a shared favorite in our household. Next is this one, the Fanny blazer in cotton herringbone, designed by Amanda Gorel, a French-Swedish designer who's a L'Oreal Design Award recipient. The structured fit and subtle herringbone texture gives it a refined but minimalist look, and it transitions effortlessly from day to night. Another classic is the Arena jacket in vegan leather, designed by Alyssa and Julia Rubin, who mix the softness and haute couture with the practicality of ready-to-wear. The vintage cut and substantial feel give it a bold character, while the vegan leather is soft and supple. For cozy autumn layers, I chose the Livy jumper, part of Fabrique's essential line. Timeless and versatile, it's soft and breathable with a delicate scallop detail adding just the right touch of interest. I also love the Alina skirt, another essential line piece. Modern, practical and one of those silhouettes that never dates. For bottoms, the Sunny jeans are designed by Xenia Schneider, a husband and wife duo who are revolutionizing denim. The Dazeys the pants are by Clara Asea, a former Maison Couture creative director that has been featured in Vogue. And both the Hermione pants and Karin jeans are by Amanda Gorel. Each piece is comfortable, lightweight and easy to style, and I've noticed that I keep reaching for all these items again and again. So if you're looking for versatile, trend-forward pieces with luxury-level design at an accessible price, you should have a look at Fabrique's full collection. Use my code 2JennyD for 15% off for new customers and 2JennyD10 for 10% off for returning customers. All the links are in the description. Huge thanks again to Fabrique, and now let's get back to the video. So we came back to London late July and spent August at home. August was lovely, so calm, no big plans, just easing our way back into work slowly. And I've somehow been able to keep working at this slower pace just fine. I don't set an alarm, so I wake up whenever my body wants to. Then I work really well in the morning, I have lunch, I go to the gym with David, and after I come home and shower, I do maybe an hour or two of admin work, and that's it. I am then free to spend an hour or two reading until dinner. Going to bed early and waking up late and then repeating this whole process. I have worked so much less this early autumn, and it makes me feel so good having more normal work hours instead of the insane 80-hour weeks we usually have, that I now feel practically protective of this new routine. I will do what I can to safeguard my slower, kinder work days. Remind me of this if you notice me winding up again. So maybe some of you reacted to that volatile little word I just used, the gym. Yes, shockingly enough, I've returned to the gym, and I've been going 4 times per week with David since August. And to further shock you, I just have to say, I love it. I love it so much. I feel excited to go. I don't know, I think I've just found a workout routine and attitude that works perfectly for me. And it's all about building strength. I keep a simple routine. I spend about an hour or 90 minutes at the gym, uncomplicated, and actually, seriously, I find it so satisfying. This is what I meant when saying that these months have been about growth, literally. I've grown muscles that I didn't even know that I had. I can see it, although I'm sure most people wouldn't notice any difference on me, appearance-wise. But more than anything, I can feel it. I lift heavier and heavier all the time. I've been taking it step by step because I don't want to injure myself by being too eager this early on, which means that every week or every other week I can still add a bit of weight and see that my body can handle it. I'm of course happy to talk about my workout routine and what has worked for me to make it something that is sustainable and realistic in my week. and motivating enough to make my gym sessions something that I'm actually excited about. I know, it's shocking to hear. Late August, we went to Sweden again for a wedding for a long weekend, and coming back, we spent the whole of September just trying to live normally. Sticking to routine, not overfilling the calendar, trying to prepare as much work as possible before going to the US in early October. This was again such a nice month in many ways. Productive but calm work days, good sessions at the gym, fantastic everyday diet. Again, I think I've hacked something here, because ever since coming back from our holiday in late July and slowly starting to reintroduce foods into my diet after getting over the worst of my stress stomach, I found a way to eat which is similar to my normal diet that I've been having for the last decade or so, but with some tweaks that have just so elevated my energy levels and lowered my cortisol. I think this is one of the reasons that I look forward to the gym now, because I have such a surplus of energy to burn off with the dumbbells. It's a bit too complicated to get into here, but I have made a video about this specifically if you want to take a look. I have to say though, even though September has been all about routine and working on getting videos ready and preparing the US and German publication of What a Time to Be Alive, I still feel that finishing my third novel and reading it through one more final time to polish and shine and, move commas back and forth, I now feel a little lost. So now the novel is with my agent again, and he's happy with the changes that I've made and he's ready to try and sell it. But that of course means that I have no writing projects to work on right now. Writing is my most loved exercise. It's the one thing I do that makes me feel just right, like my brain is operating perfectly. So now, having been so insanely focused on this book since October last year, not spending my days back there in the study opening the project documents in the morning for the 2000th time, I feel a little bit lost. I feel sort of like homesickness or like missing a person you love. So when I don't have a writing project to work on, my brain starts spending that energy on other things, which makes me more nervous. Of course I'm nervous about selling the book. Just because I've sold the first 2 novels, it doesn't guarantee that you sell the third one. It's a volatile business, the book industry, and currently the market is bad, or so my agent keeps telling me. So many nerves about that. And until the book is sold, I don't think that I'll be able to truly relax. We're also a bit worried about money at the moment in general, but then again, David and I are always a bit worried about money. It's the plight of the self-employed creatives, never knowing what's around the corner. So we're good for this year, but we have no idea what next year might look like money-wise. It's always like this come every autumn before the upcoming year contracts have rolled in, or indeed not rolled in. But between you and me, there have also been some other things on like a personal level, like worrying about people I love going through a tough time. It's been a difficult couple of years for many, and I feel like, of course, not to mention like the state of the world, which is just horrific and impossible to understand or take in. So this is the panic that I mentioned earlier, feeling so disconnected from the world, since the world is so different for me here in London than what it is for so many others around the world. It's impossible to accept. You know that feeling, the sense of living a nice, safe life, worrying about work and whether your book will sell or not, while others are not safe. I don't know what to make of it. I don't have any clever things to say about this really, other than that is awful. So I guess we just have to continue as we have, speaking up, donating money when we can, and not be silent. And I think feeling panicked about this, that isn't an exaggerated feeling. We should feel panic and rage really, and let that fuel us to keep being loud. That's how I feel anyway. And then, finding moments of peace and beauty in between to sort of replenish ourselves a bit. And I hope peace and beauty is just what I will be in by the time you watch this video, because when this comes up, I'll be on my US trip already. We're starting in New York to be there for the US publication of What a Time to Be Alive, and I should hopefully have some footage for you here to squeeze in last minute before we post this video, because I'm recording this just before we leave for our trip. So if everything has gone according to plan, we'll just now have spent a week in New York, meeting authors and booksellers and influencers, and I will have done my event at the legendary bookshop, The Strand. So when I'm recording this, the event of course hasn't happened yet, so I'm crossing my fingers that it went okay. And just in general, that the overall US publication experience has been going well. Again, the nerve-wracking business of being a novelist, always a publication day to worry about, not to mention trying to sell your next one. Will you keep everything crossed for my third novel? It's by far the best thing that I've ever written, according to my agent and to, myself as well. I'm so proud of this one, so it would be absolutely devastating if it didn't get published. I hope I'll have some news for you soon. I should have, but things are both incredibly slow moving and incredibly hush-hush in the book industry, so bear with me. Anyway, David and I have also planned so many things that we want to eat and drink and see and walk to in New York. We haven't been there since back in, 2013, so I'm beyond excited. Right now, I've probably already left New York for Portland, Oregon, where one of my best friends live. We'll spend 10 days there and then come back home to London in late October. Then we will need a few weeks to recoup and de-jet lag before going to Germany in November for the German Beste Zeiten book tour. I'll leave links for tickets if you do want to come see me in Germany. I would so love to say hi to those of you watching in Germany. Last year when we did the OK Tage book tour, honestly, it was another one of those dreamy, magical trips, and it made me so to the core happy to see you all. Writing books is such a solitary activity, so to meet readers is like the antidote to feeling isolated or disconnected. So thank you so much to all of you who are reading my books or coming to see me at events. If writing books is my most loved activity, meeting readers is a close second. So enough about me already. How has your June to October been? Routine, diet, work, stress, money, where are you at? I feel overall good, nervous and worried, but not stressed or fatigued or overworked. Quite the opposite for once. I feel energetic, well slept and strong. Wonderful 3 words, aren't they? As always, I so look forward to your thoughts in the comments, whatever you're going through at the moment, and I'm wishing you a beautiful and calm autumn. Take care of yourself for now and talk to you once that I'm safely back home in London after Portland. Okay, thank you for watching today and for all your encouragement this summer. It makes me feel calmer in all of this, knowing that there are so many of you supporting my writing, and my career in general. As always, I owe you lots. You're my favorite people and I will see you very, very soon, I hope. Okay, bye for now.